Hey guys, welcome to Garth Williams Retouch once again. In this video I'm going to show you how I created this image in Photoshop, and this image was supplied by a photographer known as Angel, and I'll leave some links in the description as to where you can see some more of his photography work. So without further delay, I'm just going to go right into it, and this is the final result obviously. And here we have not the original, but this is the raw conversion that I made. And the purpose, what I did in this raw conversion was basically add magentas to the shadows and yellows to the highlights, and obviously it wasn't to the fullest opacity, so it just gave a nice subtle pinkish yellowish global color over the entire image. So after I did that, obviously this was not going to be the final colors because it was just to give a nice start, a nice idea as to where the makeup should be and where the skin should be. And after I did that, I went on to add some light into the eye area, as you can see here. Very subtle adjustment. Then I went on to heal the skin, as you can tell. Nothing too dramatic, just heal out some of the inconsistencies as well. I went on to liquefy the image. Nothing too dramatic again, just to adjust the shapes that is going on, make the curves a lot more curvier, as you can see, around the eye area as well. And I went on to add a inverted high pass, and the purpose of the inverted high pass here was basically just to smooth out the inconsistencies again. I added some right in this area where the eyebrows meets the brow bone and so on, and the skin as well, because I found that the area was a little bit the contrast in the area was a little bit much. It was a little bit too much, so I had to smooth that area out as well. And as well on the lips as well, there was a lot of inconsistencies going on the lips. Apart from that, I went on to dodge and burn. As you can see, the dodge and burn it's a dramatic change in a sense, but it's not so much a change as an improvement, because I didn't really change her features but rather enhance a lot of them. As you can see here, it just created a lot more depth to the image, add a lot more depth and a lot more shape. In this dodge and burn layer, I used a layer set of color basically just to make the eyes. But inside of the eyes, you can see, if I zoom in a little bit closer, you can see inside of the eyes, it's a mixture of cyan and maybe some reds and some yellows and some pinks, and I just made it one color. And I did the same thing to the eyeliner, or whatever it's called, there, just to make it one color and not have so many different colors in that one aspect of the image. So that's what I did here. And to dodge and burn, I used curves. I used curves with a hue saturation layer attached to them, just to fix any color issue that may have arrived during my dodging and burning. I went on to sharpen the image, just to sharpen around the eye area. As you can see, you could barely notice anything. I also blurred as well. Basically, I used the split frequency to sharpen the image, right? And you can see what I did was I painted black on the high to blur certain areas, and the blur was not used to smooth out the skin. The blur was used to create a sense of depth, not to smooth out the skin. And I will always stress that that is what blur is used for, to create depth and not to smooth out skin. Apart from that, I then went on to adjust the tones, the skin tones of the image, and make it a lot more even using a gradient map. And you can check out my tutorial on gradient maps to find out how that is done. So I use a gradient map. It was actually set to a really high opacity because of the dramatic amount of dodging and burning I did to this image. And then I went on to adjust the saturation individually, because I found that the gradient map just made everything a little bit more digital, and I wanted a little bit more inconsistencies in terms of the saturation, just to keep it a little bit more natural in a sense. And then I adjusted the entire vibrance of the image, well, the saturation, and that's basically it for the tones. I went on to adjust the background. As you can see, it's really simple, but it requires some masking. What I did was I changed background to blue. That was my original intention, because I found that the skin was yellow and I wanted a blue, a kind of turquoise color like this. Unfortunately, I decided to change it to pink. I'm not sure why, but after I changed it to pink, I just painted some random circles all over the background, and that's just how I created background. It's very simple. After I created the background, I added some lashes and some brows. I fill out the brows by drawing in, and I added some lashes as well, and that's the same thing I did here. And then I fill out the bottom lashes as well. I changed the eye color just to contrast with the eye makeup, so I carried it a little bit more on the green side. Then I reduced the saturation in some areas, like right here, because those areas were a little bit oversaturated. Then I just made some final touches with my dodging and burning to smooth out certain areas that I found was a little bit distracting, and that's about it. Oh, I changed the eyebrow colors here to basically to give a more natural eyebrow color here. So I had to change the eyebrow color because I found that it was a little bit pink, and it still is, but it's a little bit more on the natural side. Then I made some subtle, it's very unnoticeable, but it's some subtle adjustments to the makeup, to all the pinks on the image, and I masked it out from the skin, so it's not affecting the skin, it's just affecting the eyes and the background and the leaf here as well. Sorry, it's not a leaf, it's actually a flower. It's supposed to be a flower at least. And I think that was about it. I just made some liquefying around the teeth area here, and then I dodged and burned the teeth, and I just made some global changes. I affected the yellows and just carried it a little bit more to the magenta side to make it blend in a lot more. And that's how I created this beautiful image. What you should gather from this image is that it requires a lot of layers upon layers upon layers to get the result that you might be looking for. It's not usually just the same thing over and over, because I know a lot of people would say that it's okay to just have a workflow, and I just kind of would like to disagree with having one particular workflow for every single image. It just doesn't work like that. Some images require, especially, and some results as well require different workflows. It's not always the same thing. So yeah, this is how I created this image. If you would like to learn more, make sure to check out my DVD at www.garthwilliamsretouch.net. And I think that's it for this video. Make sure to subscribe and thumbs up the video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.